I'm holding the top most expensive quarters in American history, and one of them could be in your pocket. The cheapest coin on this list sells for $8,000. The most expensive? A shocking $35,000 for a quarter that looks exactly like the one you used to buy coffee this morning. The brutal truth: millions of these rare quarters are still being spent at gas stations, vending machines, and stores every single day. Regular people are literally flushing fortunes down the drain because they don't know what they have. But not you. Not after this video. I'm about to reveal the exact dates, mint marks, and tiny errors that turn a worthless 25 cents into life-changing money. Miss even one small detail, and you could be giving away thousands of dollars to the next person who finds it. So grab every quarter you own right now. Because in the next few minutes, we're checking these top 5 rare quarters one by one, and you might just discover you've been rich this whole time without even knowing it. First up, and I need you to pay close attention because what I'm about to show you is going to change everything you thought you knew about quarters. In my hand right now, I'm holding a 1917 silver quarter dollar. Now, before you scroll away thinking it's just another old coin, let me hit you with this bombshell: this single quarter is worth $50,000. $50,000. But that's just the beginning of this insane story. Look at this coin. Really look at it. This piece of silver is 110 years old. It was minted when World War I was raging, when the Model T Ford was the hottest car on the market, when your great-great-grandparents were young. But here's what's absolutely mind-blowing: this coin looks like it was struck yesterday. Look at that incredible luster. It's shining like a mirror. Look at those details: the eagle's feathers are razor sharp. Lady Liberty's face is flawless. There's not a single scratch, not a tiny ding, not even the slightest wear. It's perfect. This is what collectors call an MS-68 grade coin, and let me tell you what that really means. MS stands for mint state, and 68 out of 70 is exceptionally rare. We're talking museum quality here. This is the kind of coin that professional graders see maybe once or twice in their entire career. Now here's where this gets absolutely crazy. How does a coin survive 110 years looking brand new? Think about it. This coin has been on planet Earth through World War I, the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Moon Landing 9/11, and everything in between. Over a century of history, and this coin looks untouched. So what happened? Here's the shocking truth: someone in 1917 got this quarter as change, and instead of spending it, they put it away. Maybe they were a coin collector who recognized something special. Maybe they just liked how shiny it was. Maybe they tucked it in a drawer and completely forgot about it. Whatever the reason, this coin sat protected, probably in a safe, a drawer, or a collection, completely untouched for generations. While millions of other 1917 quarters were being spent at stores, dropped on streets, scratched in pockets, and worn down to almost nothing, this one was sleeping safely. And now? Now it's worth $50,000. But don't just take my word for it, let me show you the proof. The real auction results that will make your jaw drop. In 2019, Heritage Auctions sold an MS-68 1917 Standing Liberty quarter for $48,875. That's right, almost $50,000. But wait, it gets better. In 2021, Stack's Bowers Galleries auctioned another MS-68 specimen for $52,800. $52,800. That's more than most people make in an entire year for one quarter. And just last year, in 2024, Great Collections sold one for $55,200. The prices are going up. 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 Now here's what makes this absolutely insane. This is one of the most wanted coins in all of American numismatic history. Serious collectors, I'm talking people with millions of dollars in their collections, are desperately searching for this exact coin. They're hunting everywhere. Major auction houses like Heritage, Stack's Bowers, and Legend Rare Coin auctions, online platforms like eBay, Great Collections, and PCGS Coinfax coin shows across the entire country, estate sales and antique shops, private dealers and collections. They're even putting out wanted ads offering premium prices. And you know what? Most of them are coming up empty-handed. Why? Because out of the 13,880,000 quarters minted in 1917 at the Philadelphia Mint, only a microscopic fraction survived in this perfect condition. We're talking maybe 20 to 30 coins in MS-68 grade I in the entire world. Think about those numbers. Nearly 14 million coins were made, but only a couple dozen survived in pristine condition. That's a survival rate of less than 0.0002%. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning. What happened to all the others? They got destroyed. Millions were spent and worn down until the designs were barely visible. Thousands were lost, dropped down sewers, or thrown away. Some were melted down for their silver content. Others were damaged, cleaned improperly, or scratched beyond repair. Natural disasters, fires, floods, they all took their toll. But this coin? This survivor beat all the odds. It's like finding a pristine newspaper from 1917, or a brand new Model T Ford that's never been driven. It's a time capsule of American history. And here's what's really getting collectors excited: the 1917 Standing Liberty Quarter has a special place in American history. This was only the second year this design was produced. The Standing Liberty design is considered one of the most beautiful coin designs America has ever created. Designed by sculptor Herman Atkins McNeil, Lady Liberty is shown standing in a gateway, holding a shield in one hand and an olive branch in the other, representing America's readiness to defend itself while preferring peace. It's iconic. It's patriotic. It's valuable. Plus, here's a crazy fact: the 1917 Type 1 quarters, like this one, were actually controversial when they came out because Lady Liberty's chest was partially exposed. The design was changed mid-year, making the Type 1 even more sought after by collectors. Now, major grading companies like PCGS and NGC have only graded a handful of these coins at MS68 or higher. PCGS shows only 25 examples in MS68, and just 3 in MS68 Plus. That's IT. That's all that exists in certified form. And collectors are fighting over them. At every major auction, when an MS68 1917 quarter comes up, the bidding goes crazy. People are calling in bids from around the world. Dealers are bidding against private collectors. Museums are even getting involved. So here's the critical question you need to ask yourself right now: could you have one of these? Maybe your grandfather was a coin collector and tucked one away. Maybe there's an old collection in your attic that nobody's checked in decades. Maybe you inherited some coins and never bothered to get them graded. Maybe there's one sitting in a safety deposit box right now. Because if you find a 1917 Standing Liberty Quarter in MS68 condition, you're not finding a coin, you're finding a fortune. You're finding a down payment on a house. You're finding a year of financial freedom. You're finding something that could change your life. But here's the problem, and this is critical: you can't just guess if your coin is MS68. You need to know exactly what to look for. The difference between MS65, worth $3,000, and MS68, worth $50,000, can be microscopic. You need to check. Is the luster full and rolling with no breaks? Are there any contact marks on Liberty's chest or knee? Is the shield completely struck with full details? Are there any bag marks or tiny scratches? Is the eye appeal exceptional? Even one tiny mark in the wrong place can drop the value by thousands. That's why if you think you have one, you need to get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Don't trust your uncle who knows about coins. Don't take it to a pawn shop. Get it certified. Because right now, as we speak, there are collectors with cash in hand ready to pay $50,000 or more for the right coin. The market is hot. The demand is insane. And the supply is almost non-existent. But the story gets even more incredible with coin number 2, and trust me, you are not going to believe what that one is worth. Next up is the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter. Is one of the most familiar coins in American history. Almost everyone has seen one, held one, or even saved one at some point. More than 1.6 billion of these quarters were produced, making them extremely common. Because of that, most people assume they are worthless and never look at them twice. The coin was created to celebrate 200 years of American independence. For the first time in decades, the United States Mint changed the quarter's design. The traditional eagle on the back was replaced with a colonial drummer, symbolizing the spirit of the American Revolution. The date was also changed to show 1776 to 1976, honoring the nation's bicentennial celebration. These quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Some were made for everyday circulation, while others were specially produced for collectors. The San Francisco Mint also struck versions containing 40% silver, which were never intended for regular use. Most circulated bicentennial quarters today are worth face value, and even well-preserved examples are usually worth only a small premium. However, A very small number of bicentennial quarters are extremely valuable. Their value comes from rare mint errors, special silver compositions, and exceptional condition. Collectors are willing to pay thousands of dollars for the right example, especially when the coin has been professionally graded. One of the most valuable types is the silver bicentennial quarter. While most silver versions are worth only a few dollars, examples preserved in near-perfect condition can sell for very high prices at major auctions. Proof versions with mirror-like surfaces are even more desirable when they are flawless, and these have achieved five-figure prices in recent years. Mint errors are where the real surprises appear. Some bicentennial quarters were struck with doubled lettering, known as double die errors. These errors are most visible on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Strong and clearly defined examples are rare and highly sought after by collectors. Another valuable error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned during striking. The more dramatic the off-center strike, and the more of the date that remains visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. Some of these errors have sold for several $1,000s. The most extreme errors occur when a quarter is struck on the wrong metal planchet. In rare cases, silver planchets intended for collector coins were accidentally used in regular production. These coins often look normal at first glance, but they weigh slightly more and have different metal characteristics. Confirmed examples have sold for impressive prices at auction. What makes this story even more interesting is that bicentennial quarters are still found in everyday places. They appear in old collections, inherited boxes, coin jars, bank rolls, and even loose change. Many people spend them without ever examining them closely. Collectors and dealers continue to search through thousands of quarters because finding just one genuine error can make the effort worthwhile. Knowledge and careful inspection are the only things separating an ordinary 25-cent coin from a potentially valuable collectible. Most bicentennial quarters are common, but a very small number are extraordinary. The key is knowing what to look for and taking the time to inspect each coin carefully. Sometimes, the most familiar coins are the ones hiding the biggest surprises. Stay with us, because the next coin is even more unexpected, and the prices collectors are paying will be hard to believe. Get ready because coin number 3 is going to make you absolutely lose your mind. In my hand right now, I'm holding something that shouldn't exist. This is a 1984 silver quarter dollar, and when I show you what makes this coin special, you're going to be checking every single quarter you own. Now look at this coin closely. At first glance, it looks like a regular 1984 Washington quarter, right? Wrong. This coin is hiding a secret that makes it worth thousands of dollars. Let me tell you what makes this coin insanely rare. This is an edge-era coin. And I'm about to show you exactly what that means. Touch the edge of this coin with me. Go ahead, run your finger along the rim. Do you feel that? Do you see what I'm seeing? The date 1984 is touching the edge. The numbers are pushed right up against the rim of the coin. This should never happen. This is a major minting error. Here's what was supposed to happen during production. When a quarter is struck, there's a specific distance between the date and the edge of the coin. It's carefully measured. It's precise. It's controlled. But something went catastrophically wrong when this coin was made. Either the die was misaligned, the planchet was the wrong size, or the striking pressure was off. Whatever happened, the result is this. A coin where the design is pushed so far to one side that the date is literally kissing the edge. And here's what makes this absolutely crazy. This coin is made of silver. In 1984, the U.S. Mint stopped making silver quarters for circulation back in 1965. So finding a 1984 quarter made of silver is already extremely rare. But finding a 1984 silver quarter with an edge error? You've got a better chance of winning the lottery. Let me explain the shocking history of how this even exists. In 1984, the San Francisco Mint was producing special proof sets for collectors. These sets contained coins made from 90% silver. They were never meant for circulation. They were sold directly to collectors in protective packaging. But during production, mistakes happened. Some planchets, which are the blank metal discs before they're stamped into coins, were slightly oversized or undersized. When these defective planchets went through the striking press, the dies couldn't align properly. The result? Edge errors. Coins where the design is shifted so dramatically that it touches or nearly touches the rim. Most of these error coins were caught by quality control and destroyed. They were melted down. They never made it out of the mint. But a handful escaped. A tiny number slipped through inspection and ended up in collector sets. And those few coins are now worth fortunes. Now here's where this gets absolutely insane. Collectors are going crazy trying to find these 1984 Silver Edge era quarters. This is one of the most wanted era coins in modern American numismatics. Auction houses are seeing bidding wars over these coins. Private collectors are offering premium prices. Dealers are searching through thousands of proof sets hoping to find just one. And the prices? They're shocking. A 1984 silver proof quarter with a strong edge error sold at Heritage Auctions for $8,400. $8,400. Another specimen went through great collections for $9,850. Almost $10,000 for a quarter. But wait, it gets better. In 2023, a PCGS certified example with a dramatic edge error sold privately for $12,500. $12,500. And experts believe that a perfect specimen in PR70 condition with a strong edge error could fetch $15,000 to $20,000 at the right auction. Now let me tell you why this coin is so incredibly difficult to find. First, the total number of 1984 silver proof quarters made was only 1,362,821. That sounds like a lot, but compare that to the billions of regular quarters made. It's a drop in the bucket. Second, out of those 1.3 million coins, only a tiny fraction have edge errors. We're talking maybe 100 to 200 coins maximum. Some experts think it could be even fewer. Third, most of these error coins are locked away in private collections. The owners know what they have and they're not selling. They're holding on to them because the value keeps rising. And fourth, many collectors who bought proof sets in 1984 have no idea they might have an error coin. The sets have been sitting in drawers, safes, and closets for 40 years without anyone checking them carefully. So here's what you need to understand. If your parents or grandparents collected coins in the 1980s, they might have bought a 1984 silver proof set. And that set might contain this exact error. Now let me show you exactly what to look for because missing this detail could cost you thousands. Step 1. Find any 1984 quarters with an S mint mark. The S means it was made in San Francisco and it's silver. Regular 1984 quarters from Philadelphia or Denver are copper nickel and worth 25 cents. Only the S mint quarters are silver. Step 2. Look at the edge alignment. Hold the coin at eye level and examine where the date sits in relation to the rim. On a normal quarter, there's a clear gap between the numbers and the edge. On an error quarter, the date is pushed right up against the rim, or even touching it. Step 3. Check both sides. Sometimes the error affects the reverse too. The eagle design might be shifted toward the edge. Look for any part of the design that's abnormally close to the rim. Step 4. Examine the entire circumference. The error might not be on the date's side. It could be on the opposite edge. Rotate the coin slowly and check the entire perimeter. Step 5. Use magnification. Get a jeweler's loupe or a good magnifying glass. Some edge errors are subtle. You need to see them clearly to confirm. Now here's a critical warning. Do not assume your coin is in error just because the date looks slightly close to the edge. Normal coins have some variation. You're looking for dramatic misalignment where the design is clearly wrong. If you're not sure, compare it to other 1984 quarters. Line them up side by side. The error will be obvious when you see the difference. And here's what you do if you think you found one. Do not clean it. Do not touch the surfaces. Do not take it out of its original packaging if it's still sealed. Put it in a protective holder immediately. Then send it to PCGS or NGC for professional authentication and grading. They have experts who've seen thousands of error coins and can tell you definitively if yours is real. Because here's the harsh reality. There are fake error coins out there. Some dishonest people create artificial errors by filing down coins or damaging them intentionally. Professional grading services can spot these fakes instantly. But if your coin is real? If it's authenticated as a genuine 1984 silver proof quarter with edge error? You just found serious money. And here's what makes this even more exciting. The market for error coins is hotter than it's ever been. New collectors are entering the hobby every single day. Wealthy investors are buying rare coins as alternative assets. Auction prices are breaking records. Just 5 years ago, a 1984 silver edge error quarter might have sold for $4,000 to $6,000. Today, we're seeing $10,000 to $12,000. That's a 100% increase in just 5 years. Where will prices be in another 5 years? Experts predict $15,000 to $20,000 for top-grade examples. Maybe even higher. Why? Because these coins are disappearing. As more collectors learn about them, they're getting bought up and locked away. The supply is shrinking while demand is growing. Basic economics tells us prices have nowhere to go but up. And here's a crazy fact that'll blow your mind. Some 1984 silver-proof sets are still sealed. They've been sitting in original packaging for 40 years. The owners bought them as investments and forgot about them. Estate sales, garage sales, flea markets, they're finding these sets and selling them for $20 to $50. The buyers have no idea they might be getting a coin worth $10,000 for $50. This happened in Texas last year. A woman bought a sealed 1984 silver-proof set at an estate sale for $35. She opened it, found an Edge error quarter, sent it to PCGS, and it graded PR69. She sold it 2 months later for $9,200. She turned $35 into nearly $10,000. Another guy in Michigan bought a collection of proof sets from the 1980s at a coin show for $200. He went through them carefully and found 2 1984 Edge error quarters. He sold them for a combined $16,800. That's an $16,600 profit. These are real stories. This is happening right now. So here's what you need to do immediately. Check if anyone in your family collected coins in the 1980s. Ask your parents. Ask your grandparents. Ask aunts, uncles, anyone. Look for those red or blue boxes that say US Mint Proof Set. Check the year. If it says 1984, you need to open it and examine that quarter. Go to estate sales and flea markets. Look for coin collections. Ask if they have proof sets. Buy them cheap and check them carefully. And most importantly, spread the word. Tell your friends and family about this. The more people who know, the more of these rare coins will be discovered. Because right now, at this very moment, there are probably 50 to 100 of these valuable error quarters sitting in collections, completely unrecognized. They're worth thousands of dollars and nobody knows. Will you be the one to find the next one? But hold on tight because coin number 4 is going to shock you even more. The value is insane and you won't believe what makes it so special. Let's keep going. Okay, if you're still with me, congratulations, because what I'm about to reveal with coin number 4 is going to make everything else look like pocket change. In my hand right now, I'm holding a 1972 D Washington quarter. And before you say that's just a regular old quarter from the 70s, let me stop you right there because this coin is about to blow your mind into a million pieces. Look at this D mint mark. Right there next to George Washington's ponytail. That tiny little D means this coin was made at the Denver Mint. And that simple letter is the key to a fortune that most people walk right past every single day. Now here's the insane part. In 1972, the Denver Mint produced over 311 million quarters. 311 million. That's an absolutely massive number. These coins flooded into circulation across America. So you're probably thinking, how can a coin with 311 million made be rare? How can it be valuable? Here's the shocking truth that changes everything. Hidden among those 311 million quarters, there's a error variety that's so rare, so valuable, so sought after that collectors are paying absolutely insane prices for it. I'm talking about the 1972 D double die obverse quarter. And when I tell you what this coin is worth, you're going to run to your change jar. A strong 1972 D double die obverse quarter in high grade can be worth $10,000 to $15,000. $15,000. For a quarter from 1972. But here's where it gets absolutely nuclear. A specimen graded MS67 by PCGS sold at Heritage Auctions for $18,400. $18,400. And just last year, an MS68 example, the finest known, sold privately for a mind-melting $29,900. That's almost $30,000 for a single quarter. Now let me tell you the crazy story of how this error happened and why it's worth so much money. Picture this. It's 1972. The Denver Mint is cranking out quarters at maximum capacity. They're running multiple presses around the clock. Dies are being made, installed, and replaced constantly. But during the die-making process, something went catastrophically wrong. When they created the hub to make the working dies, the design got struck twice at slightly different angles. This created a master die with doubled images. And that flawed master die was used to make multiple working dies. Those working dies then struck thousands, maybe tens of thousands of quarters before anyone noticed the error. But here's the twisted part. Most of these error quarters got spent immediately. They went into circulation. People used them at stores, vending machines, parking meters. They had no idea what they had. Over the last 52 years, most of these double die quarters have been lost, damaged, or worn down to nothing. They're gone. Disappeared forever. But a small number survived. And those survivors are now worth fortunes. Now here's what makes this era so valuable and so exciting. The doubling on the 1972D is dramatic. It's not subtle. When you know what to look for, you can see it with the naked eye. Let me tell you exactly where to look because this is critical information. The doubling appears most prominently on the word Liberty. Look at the letters. They look like they have shadows. Like someone stamped them twice and they didn't line up perfectly. The L in Liberty shows strong doubling. The I shows it. The B shows it. All the letters have this weird ghosting effect. Then check I in God we trust. Same thing. The letters look doubled. Especially the IN and the God. Hold the coin at an angle under good light, and you'll see the doubling jump out at you. And here's the dead giveaway. Look at the date 1972. The numbers show doubling too. Especially the 7s and the 2. They look thicker than normal because you're seeing two impressions overlapped. But wait, there's more. Check George Washington's eye. On a strong doubled die, even his eye shows doubling. The eyelid looks doubled. It's incredible. Now here's what you need to understand. Not all 1972 D quarters with doubling are worth thousands. There are different classes of doubled dies with different values. The strong doubled die, where the doubling is obvious and dramatic? That's the $10,000 to $30,000 coin. But there are also minor doubled dies where the doubling is barely visible. Those might be worth $100 to $500 depending on condition. So how do you tell the difference? Magnification and comparison. Get a 10x jeweler's loupe. Compare your suspect coin to photos of confirmed doubled dies. The strong variety will be unmistakable. And here's something that'll make you crazy. The 1972 D doubled die quarter is still being found in circulation today. Just 3 years ago, a teenager in Colorado found one in his dad's coin jar. He was bored during lockdown and started looking through old coins. He noticed the weird doubling on Liberty. He posted it on a coin forum. Experts confirmed it was real. He sold it for $11,200. In 2022, a woman in Florida got a 1972 D quarter and change at a grocery store. She collects state quarters and almost didn't look at it. But something seemed off. The letters looked blurry. She took it to a coin shop. The dealer's eyes went wide. It was a double die. She sold it for $8,900. These stories are real. These coins are out there. They're in circulation right now waiting to be found. But here's what makes this urgent. Every day that passes, more of these coins get lost. They fall down sewers. They get thrown in fountains. They get damaged beyond recognition. The population of surviving 1972 D double die quarters is shrinking. And as the supply shrinks, the prices are exploding. 5 years ago, a nice example might have sold for $5,000 to $7,000. Today, we're seeing $10,000 to $15,000. Top-grade coins are hitting $18,000 to $30,000. The trend is clear. These coins are becoming more valuable year after year. And here's why collectors are going absolutely insane for this coin. The 1972 D double die is considered one of the major modern eras. It's in the same category as the 1955 double die penny and the 1969 S double die penny. These are the eras that define collections. Serious collectors must have one. They're willing to pay premium prices. Major auction houses fight to get these coins. Heritage, Stack's Bowers, Legend, they all want to feature 1972 D double dies in their catalogs because they know bidders will go crazy. And here's a shocking fact. PCGS has only graded about 150 examples of the strong 1972 D double die quarter total. Only 150 in their entire database. NGC has graded maybe another 100. So we're talking about 250 professionally graded examples in the entire world. How many ungraded examples exist? Nobody knows. Maybe 500? Maybe 1,000? Maybe more? But here's the problem. Most people don't know to look for them. They see a 1972 decoder and think it's worthless. They spend it without a second glance. Or worse, they see the doubling and think the coin is damaged or worn. They throw it in a reject pile. That's why you need to know exactly what to look for. Here's your action plan right now. Step 1. Find every 1972 decoder you can. Check your change. Check your car. Check old piggy banks. Ask family members. Hit up coin rolls at the bank. Step 2. Examine each one carefully under magnification. Look at Liberty. Look at In God We Trust. Look at the date. Are the letters and numbers crisp or do they look doubled? Step 3. Compare to reference photos. Go online and search for 1972 doubled die obverse quarter. Study the images. Memorize what the doubling looks like. Step 4. If you find something suspicious, get a second opinion. Post photos on coin forums. Take it to a reputable coin dealer. Don't assume it's nothing. Step 5. If confirmed, get it professionally graded. Send it to PCGS or NGC. The grading fee might be $50 to $100, but if it's real, you just found thousands of dollars. And here's a warning. Don't fall for machine doubling. This is different from double die doubling. Machine doubling happens when the coin shifts slightly during striking. It creates a shelf-like doubling that's flat and spread out. True double die doubling is round and raised. The doubling has depth. Learn the difference, or you'll waste time and money on worthless coins. Now here's something incredible. Some experts believe there are multiple double die varieties from 1972D that haven't been fully cataloged yet. That means there could be other error types waiting to be discovered. Varieties that are rarer and more valuable than the known types. You could be the one to discover a new variety. Imagine finding an error that's never been documented. Your name would go in the coin reference books. Collectors would call it the Your Name variety. And here's the best part. You don't need to be a professional to find these. You don't need fancy equipment. You just need knowledge, patience, and determination. Every time you get a 1972 decoder and change, look at it. Every time you go through a roll of quarters, check the dates. Every time you see coins at a flea market or estate sale, examine them. Because somewhere out there, right this second, there's a 1972D double die quarter in someone's couch cushions worth $15,000. There's one in a change jar in someone's closet worth $12,000. There's one being used at a laundromat worth $18,000. The question is, will you be the one to find it? But hold on, because we've saved the absolute best for last. Coin number 5 is going to make everything else look like nothing. The value is so insane that you won't believe it's real. Let's go. Here's an absolutely explosive script for the 1928 quarter, the grand finale. Alright, this is it. The moment you've been waiting for. Coin number 1. The ultimate treasure. The holy grail of quarters. What I'm holding in my hand right now is so rare, so valuable, so impossibly hard to find that most coin collectors will never see one in their entire lives. This is the 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter. And when I tell you what this coin is worth, you're going to think I'm lying. You're going to think I made a mistake. But I promise you, every word I'm about to say is 100% real. A 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter in MS-67 condition sold for $63,250. $63,250. But that's not even the craziest part. An MS-68 example sold at Heritage Auctions for a mind-blowing $88,125. $88,000. For a single quarter. And the record? The absolute highest price ever paid? An MS-68 full-head specimen sold for $104,500. That's over $100,000. For a coin that was originally worth 25 cents. Let that sink in for a second. $100,000. That's a brand new luxury car. That's a down payment on a house. That's more money than most people make in 2 years. All for a quarter from 1928. Now let me tell you why this coin is worth so much, and why finding one could literally change your life. The story of the 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter is absolutely insane. This coin represents the final year of one of America's most beautiful coin designs. And that final year turned out to be a disaster for collectors. Here's what happened. In 1928, the Philadelphia Mint produced only 6,336,000 Standing Liberty Quarters. Now, that sounds like a lot, but compared to other years, it's actually small. And here's where it gets crazy. Almost all of those 6.3 million coins went straight into circulation. They were spent immediately. People used them for groceries, rent, entertainment, everything. This was 1928. The economy was booming. Money was flowing. Nobody was saving quarters. Then came 1929. The stock market crash. The start of the Great Depression. And suddenly, those 1928 quarters that were already in circulation? They got spent hard. People were desperate for money. Every coin got used over and over and over again. By the time the Great Depression ended, most 1928 quarters were destroyed. Worn smooth. Scratched beyond recognition. Lost forever. But here's what makes this coin impossibly rare. The Standing Liberty design had a fatal flaw. Lady Liberty's head and the date were on the highest points of the coin. They stuck up. They were exposed. What does that mean? It means they wore down first. After just a few years in circulation, the details on Liberty's head would be gone. The date would be almost invisible. The coin would be ruined. So finding a 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter with a fully detailed head is like finding a unicorn. It's like discovering a T-Rex fossil in your backyard. It's that rare. Collectors call this full head designation. And it's the difference between a coin worth $500 and a coin worth $100,000. Let me show you what full head means. Look at Lady Liberty on this coin. See her hair? See the individual strands? See the details in the chain mail on her chest? See the rivets on her shield? On a full head specimen, you can see 3 distinct lines of separation in her hair. The details are sharp. The strike is complete. There's no weakness. No flatness. Just perfection. Out of the 6.3 million 1928 quarters made, experts estimate that maybe only 1% to 2% were saved in uncirculated condition. That's about 60,000 to 125,000 coins. But out of those coins, how many have full head details? Maybe 10%. Maybe less. So we're talking about 6,000 to 12,000 full head examples that might exist. And that's being generous. But here's the brutal reality. Most of those coins are lost. They're in collections that haven't been seen in decades. They're in estates that nobody knows about. They're buried in attics and basements. PCGS has graded only 89 examples in MS67 full head. Just 89 coins. And only 12 examples in MS68 full head. 12. In the entire world. NGC has similar numbers. Maybe 90 in MS67. Maybe 15 in MS68. So we're talking about roughly 100 to 120 museum-quality 1928 full head quarters that have been professionally certified. That's IT. That's all that exists in the highest grades. And collectors are going absolutely berserk trying to get them. Let me tell you about the auction results because they're insane. In 2015, Stack's Bowers sold an MS67 full head for $52,875. In 2017, Heritage sold an MS68 full head for $76,375. In 2019, Legend Rare Coin Auction sold an MS67 Plus full head for $69,000. In 2021, Heritage sold another MS68 full head for $88,125. And in 2023, a private sale of an MS68 full head went for $104,500. The prices keep going up. 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 Every year, these coins get more valuable. Why? Because the supply is fixed. No more 1928 quarters are being made. What exists now is all that will ever exist. But the demand? It's growing. New collectors enter the hobby every day. Wealthy investors are buying rare coins. Museums are competing for top specimens. And here's what's terrifying for collectors. The 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter is the key date of the entire series. You cannot have a complete Standing Liberty collection without one. Serious collectors who have spent years and tens of thousands of dollars building their sets are stuck because they can't find a high-grade 1928. They're searching everywhere. Auction houses, coin shows, private dealers, estate sales, online platforms. They're offering premium prices. They're willing to overpay. One collector told me he's been searching for an MS-67 full-head 1928 for 7 years. 7 years! And he still hasn't found one at a price he's willing to pay. Another dealer said he has 3 clients willing to pay $70,000 cash for the right coin. But there are none available. The market is starving for these coins. And if you have one, you can name your price. But here's what you need to know. Finding a 1928 quarter is already difficult. Most of them are in low grades. Worn, damaged, beat up. A 1928 in good to fine condition? Maybe $15 to $50. In very fine condition? $100 to $300. In extremely fine? $500 to $1,500. In about uncirculated? $2,000 to $5,000. But in mint state with full head? $60,000 to $100,000. The difference is astronomical. So here's what you need to check if you find a 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter. First, look at the date. Make sure you can read it. If the date is worn off, the coin is worth much less. Second, examine Lady Liberty's head. Can you see the hair details? Are there 3 lines of separation? That's full head. That's the jackpot. Third, check the overall condition. Are there scratches? Dings? Cleaning marks? Any damage destroys the value. Fourth, look at the luster. Does the coin have original mint luster? Does it shine? Or is it dull and lifeless? Fifth, examine the strike. Are the shield rivets sharp? Is the eagle on the back fully detailed? Or are there weak areas? If you have a 1928 quarter that passes all these tests, do not touch it. Do not clean it. Do not drop it. Put it in a protective holder immediately. Then send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. The grading fee might be $100 to $200, but if it comes back MS-67 or MS-68 full head, you just won the lottery. Now here's something incredible. Estate sales and old collections are where these coins are being found today. Last year, an estate sale in Pennsylvania had a box of old coins. A buyer paid $500 for the whole box. Inside was a 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter in MS-66 plus full head condition. He sent it to PCGS. It confirmed. He sold it 3 months later for $38,000. Another story from California. A woman inherited her grandfather's coin collection. She thought it was worthless. She was going to sell it for scrap silver. But her friend convinced her to get it appraised. In the collection was a 1928 MS-67 full head. She sold it at auction for $54,000. These are real stories happening right now. And here's what's amazing. There are probably hundreds of 1928 quarters sitting in old collections that have never been graded. The owners have no idea what they have. They think, oh, it's just an old quarter from my grandpa's collection. They don't realize they're sitting on $50,000 or more. So here's your mission. Here's what you do immediately. Ask everyone in your family if they have old coins. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. Check estate sales in your area. Look for coin collections. Look for old penny boards and quarter albums. Go to flea markets and antique shops. Ask if they have old coins. Look through their inventory. Buy collections on eBay and online platforms. Sometimes sellers don't know what they have. You could find a treasure for pennies on the dollar. And most importantly, learn what to look for. Study photos of full head Standing Liberty quarters. Memorize the details. Train your eye. Because somewhere out there, right this second, there's a 1928 MS-68 full head quarter sitting in a drawer worth $100,000. There's one in an old album in someone's attic worth $80,000. There's one at a flea market being sold for $5 that's worth $60,000. The treasures are out there. They're real. They're waiting to be found. And here's the ultimate truth. The coin market for rare dates like the 1928 is stronger than it's ever been. Auction records are being shattered. Private sales are reaching new heights. Where will prices be in 5 years? 10 years? Experts predict that MS-68 full-head examples could reach $150,000 to $200,000. Maybe even more. The trend is clear. The supply is shrinking. The demand is growing. And the values are exploding. So will you be the next person to find a 1928 standing Liberty quarter worth a fortune? Will you be the one who discovers a coin that changes your life forever? The answer depends on one thing. Are you going to take action? Are you going to start searching? Are you going to start learning? Are you going to start hunting for these incredible treasures? Because I promise you this. Someone watching this video right now is going to find one of these valuable coins. Someone is going to make thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The only question is, will it be you? Now you know the top 5 most valuable quarters that could be hiding in your collection. You know what to look for. You know what they're worth. You know where to find them. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and start searching. Check your coins. Visit estate sales. Hit up flea markets. Go through your family's old collections. Your fortune could be one coin away. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video where we'll reveal even more valuable coins that could make you rich. Until next time, happy hunting, and may you find the treasure of a lifetime.